Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing another Doctor Who related video, obviously. I'm doing my sort of thoughts, feelings and reaction-y thing to Series 8 trailer. Oh my god, it was amazing! I am so excited about Series 8. I am absolutely pumped. I've never been this excited since... oh my god, I don't know, I mean, probably, as I said on, Doctor Who, the group thing, Whovians, or Doctor Who United, I think it's called, or Whovians United, or something like that, on Facebook. I said, what I said was basically, I've not been this excited for a trailer, or I thought the trailer was as good as Series 5 and Series 1 trailers for Doctor Who. In the new series, so if you were wondering what other trailers I really liked, I liked those two. Obviously Series 1 trailer is amazing because obviously it's obviously trying to sell Doctor Who to a brand new audience like myself who'd never seen it prior, and I think that it sold on that, and it was really, really good. Series 5, that was sort of the same thing. Because I don't know why, but I always forget that when David Tennant regenerates into Matt Smith, it's not just that change. I always just see it as the same as when Christopher Eccleston went into David Tennant. But actually it's a different change because Stephen Moffat and everyone from that sort of team were all new as well. So, because you can kind of tell what now, or you can tell what, because it's a different change of pace and tone and atmosphere from Russell T Davies's era. This time the team behind it haven't left, so it's like the sort of same thing that happened with Christopher Eccleston to David Tennant, if you were wondering. So yeah, Series 8 trailer, it looked really, really good. It definitely confirms two things that Stephen Moffat's been hinting at since sort of Time of the Doctor, Day of the Doctor, kind of the Doctor trilogy, Name of the Doctor, Night of the Doctor, Day of the Doctor and Time of the Doctor. Since that kind of chapter of Doctor Who is over, during that he was hinting at the fact, I think, or there were rumours and things all over and up in the air about the Doctor, the 12th Doctor being way more darker, and kind of questioning who he was and his own kind of morality and well, not so much his morality, but just who he was and the choices he's made and stuff. And it makes sense, especially after, say, massive, monumentous sort of kind of event like Day of the Doctor. You've just saved your whole planet, but you haven't fully saved it yet. There's still a war happening, but it's in a pocket universe and that. But there's other choices that you've made, and that, and we've, and that, and the trailer that I'm on about definitely touched on that. The other teaser trailers have been touching on that, but this one more so. What else? There was Daleks, which we know are going to be in the second episode. There's two types of robots. There's this kind of one that looks like a bird kind of robot, which looks really cool. And then there's this one that looks kind of like a knight kind of like robot. I don't know if it's a robot trying to imitate a knight, which makes sense, but that looks really cool. It kind of ran up to the camera and stuff, and there was kind of like a castle kind of background. It looked really cool. What else? Everyone's been saying in the Doctor Who community that apparently the Doctor and Clara in the second episode end up being inside a Dalek, which is, kind of similar to what was happening in Series 7 anyway, with Clara anyway. And yeah, what else? There's a lot to the first sort of, I think, 3 episodes, which is Deep Breath, or Deep Breath, I think it is. That's a 87-minute special kind of thing. I think it's a Christmas related one, and that, and it's in Victorian London, and Jack the Ripper's supposed to be in it, I think, and I think that was what that android was. It was actually like an android maybe pretending to be Jack the Ripper in disguise or something. Maybe, I don't know. And it seemed to have like this weird arm, but like a blowtorch came out, which looked awesome. And so did the sort of prosthetic where he kind of looked like half cyborg there, but with like an eye, and that looked awesome as a prosthetic. The Daleks look kind of really menacing, which makes a change. In the new series they've not been that menacing. There was the Dalek voiceover, life returns and stuff, meaning, the Doctor's life has returned, But there's this sort of maybe theory that Emergency Awesome had, who's another Doctor Who YouTuber out there in YouTube land, who he said that there's this, one of his theories was that obviously as the Doctor gains, all these regenerations, there's another one-up for the Daleks, because they're always, sparring partners, whilst one goes up, the other has to go up, to kind of clash at an equal playing field, which makes sense, really, because the show wouldn't be the same if, say, the Daleks were still really kind of crappy and the Doctor was like, getting even stronger into rage and darkness. And that's another thing that they touch upon, the Doctor being more dark, and that might be much like, how the David Tennant's Doctor went into kind of touched a bit upon darkness. He might not be fully into darkness, because he could kind of go into the skid and steer back out, kind of touch upon that darkness, or he could be fully dark and, I don't know, kill the Daleks and blow them up or blow up different aliens and stuff. Giant dinosaur T-Rex outside Big Ben and the Parliament Place in London. That looked awesome. I was going to say as well, the reason why I think I'm majorly hyped for this series is so far from that trailer, there's not any aliens or kind of things that we've already seen apart from Daleks. Technically, you could argue, dinosaurs, we saw dinosaurs on a spaceship last time, but, technically they're not a classic series monster or villain or adversary or whatever. And I think it's, especially with Doctor Who, and the older a show gets, it's definitely really hard for the writers and the production team to just stay away from just going, I think we'll just take this, modify it a bit, and then shove it back into the new series. And that I like, but it can get, tedious, after you've seen the, Cybermen X amount of times, you kind of get a bit bored and you're at that point where you're like, what else can they do, kind of thing. Which is a bit like Daleks, but I like them so much that whenever they do new things, I'm always excited about what that new thing is. But usually, in the new series at least, they seem to not execute it very well, which is a shame, because a lot of the writers seem to have good ideas in premise, but don't execute them right. But no, I'm just really hyped for this series, because there seems to be a lot of new actual monsters and creatures and species that we've never seen before. So, and that's always a reason to get hyped, because, it's always, a reason to get hyped. There's this alien in like a space suit that kind of looked like the Doctor's space suit. He might not be hostile, which is always nice as well, because then it makes the sort of mythos of and the Doctor Who universe more rich. It's not as black and white as say a video game. And that, which makes it more realistic. Because not everyone in the universe is going to be a bad guy, and that. Which I always like. That's why I think I like the Ood quite a bit, because they're not actually the villains. If anything, it's the people who mistreat them who are the villains, and that, so, yeah. And it'd get boring, if every single person who the Doctor met was a bad guy and that, and stuff. But there's that alien, there's, sort of like, 3 kind of robots. There's the sort of android-y kind of thing with the blowtorch right at the beginning. There's the, again, that kind of weird owl kind of robot thing. There's that robot knight. Peter Capaldi on horseback, which is definitely in the first episode, because that's set in Victorian London. Paternoster gang come back, which are the Victorian gang, Jenny Strax and Madame Vastra. What else? Clara seems to have got a new costume for Series 8. Peter Capaldi looked absolutely amazing in that trailer, you know, just when he did that thing with his eyes where he's like, you know, I can't do it, but, you know, he's kind of looking down and then he's like, into darkness or something, you know, and he kind of just looks up and you're just like, whoa, you know, he's just got this aura about him and this gravitas, you know, that's very reminiscent of, say, someone like John Hurt, which is a good thing because, you know, that's, I think, a plus side to having an older actor to the part. So, yeah, he might be really, really dark. He might not be, actually. He might be much like Christopher Eccleston, which I hope he kind of is, actually, because with David Tennant and Matt Smith's Doctor, we saw them happy at the beginning and then go darker through their tenure, but I think it's time to do the reverse again, like with Christopher Eccleston, dark at the beginning and then get lighter at the end, because also that makes it more tragic when they leave. Not that David Tennant and Matt Smith's departure wasn't depressing or sad or anything, but I think it's more sad because then you see the character of the Doctor changing and that into a better person than they were at the beginning, and then it's all the more sad for them to physically change into a different person, because then you feel like, oh my god, what? That wasn't even all that time, you know, them building up their you know, happiness and that, it was not worth it, because now they have to change and all that. But yeah, that's how I felt when, you know, Christopher Eccleston first left. But yeah, yeah, as well, you know, he's questioning whether or not he's a good man. He's over 2,000 years of age now. He's thinking about all the bad choices he's made, which makes sense, you know. When you're 2,000 years, you've got a lot of time to ponder on what's bad and not so much what's good, which is unfortunate, but yeah. Yeah, so it looks like we'll be learning even more about the Time Lord, which is ironic because, you know, the show's been going on for 50 years, so you'd think there'd be no left to learn about him, but there's always something to learn about this mysterious, interesting character we like to call the Doctor. So yeah, thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.